I don't know if that is enough for people who would be listening to this. I don't know if this story or this path that I'm describing is sufficient to make you say, if I get there, my life was worth living.
From my experience of hearing other people reacting to this kind of information, at first, like, you put out a really, really good comprehensive view of what success is. It's a softer, more abstract, but more insight and in some way more real version of success. But from what I observe in others, and what I imagine others would think and feel if they hear this, is that they would feel intimidated, because you were talking about a really, really comprehensive transformation of the way you think. And it's not easy to teach yourself to think differently, even though you tell them, hey, there is a really, really grand prize at the end of this road. And the more you go, the greater this prize is going to be. And you don't even have to go that deep, that path, to start seeing the reward.
That's right.
But the initial change of the way you think, it's so difficult. I think people know what you say is right at whatever level, but they kind of mentally block it because they know it's difficult. So they would start to give excuses. But I think a very interesting thing is, I know I feel that most people know that you're right. If they really ask themselves and they're being honest to themselves, they will know this is the ideal way of living. This is actually what they want, but they are too afraid to admit it because the effort involved is, like you said, always, like, it's not the faint of heart. So,
it's not for the faint of heart. But you know what is the future? Because the earth cannot take anything else than this. The way of the competition is over. We are killing ourselves literally, and the earth is not going to stand for it. So we either make the change and the transition slowly. There are plenty of resources out there, but I don't see there is another way to move towards the future in a way that's sustainable. And everything else that is good starts from there, from what I've just described, from you. This was amazing how you rephrase what I say, which sometimes I hear myself and I know I'm saying the right thing, but I don't know, are people actually hearing it or picking it up? Is it the right vocabulary or the right level? And so that's why I like hearing you, because then I know I made sense and you got it. So if you get it, I think other people will get it.
I think the reason why I get it is because on some level, our minds work the same way. So if I just relax, I can get the picture behind.
That's what it is. And what I find is that when people release their resistance, they start hearing me. And it doesn't matter what age. I can talk to a child of 5-year-old. I can talk to my students, 14, 15, 16. First, they fight me. Then they start relaxing because they see I'm consistent, I'm persistent, I penetrate, I break through. And when they realize that the way they are doing it is not giving them the success they wanted, they start releasing their resistance, and like they release the resistance, they start hearing me, and then they start enjoying, and then they start wanting to come to my lessons, and it takes about 4 to 6 months. So towards the end of the year, the second part of the year, people come together to some kind of start very disjointed. Then my class becomes very in the middle. So anything between 60 to 80%, and everybody's in that bracket. And somehow the personalities merge and people start working together, flowing, and everything becomes smooth. And then I don't really have to teach them, they teach themselves. So the work that I actually do is to not allow their manipulations to play with me and to guide them, putting those sidelines very strongly and guide them through this path in that direction. I always describe it runway towards the planes with the lights on both sides. So there are 2 lights on both sides and the planes all come in the same direction and go in the same direction. And that's what happens with everybody that meets me. They try to come in every direction and crash. I say, no, that way, that way, that way. And eventually, because I've got that much force, that much strength of energy, that much intensity, I break them down. I wrap, I break them down, and eventually, as they are broken down, the resistance is released, and now they start learning very fast. Thank you so much, Jenny.
Yeah, thank you for you too.
Just listening to you, I learn from you, and vice versa is wonderful.
Yes, it is.